Good evening, everyone. Another big setback for General Motors over that recall of 2.5 million cars for defective ignition switches linked to at least 13 crash-related fatalities. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration now says the automaker had not met an April 3rd deadline to respond to its request for more detailed information about that recall. The regulator says GM failed to answer more than a third of the 107 questions about the faulty part and why it waited more than a decade to issue a recall after first learning of the problem. GM has been fined $28,000 and faces fines of $7,000 a day until it fully complies. Phil LeBoy joins us now from Chicago. So, Phil, what does all this mean for General Motors?
Susie, this is another example of the federal government and specifically NHTSA saying, knock it off. Start giving us all the information we requested and give it to us as quickly as possible, or else we will go to federal court and demand it if you don't turn it over as quickly as possible. Some people will hear this, Susie, and they'll say, $7,000 a day. Is that really going to compel General Motors to come forward and turn over documents? That's not the point here. That's the maximum allowed by law, $7,000 per day, which is what NHTSA has fined General Motors. This is more symbolic of the frustration that NHTSA has dealing with General Motors on this recall ignition switch recall issue and not getting documents. Just one quote I want to give you guys. At the end of the letter here, it says, to be clear, a complete response by GM means GM fully and substantively answers all questions and produces all responsive documents. In other words, GM's not complying completely, and the federal government is saying, we've had enough. We want all the documents and all the answers.
Has GM said anything, and why wouldn't they answer all the questions?
Well, General Motors has answered about 2/3 of the questions, and what they have said in the past is we're looking into this and we're doing our own investigation, and we will turn over all the documents when we have all the documents and all the information. Some of this is technical in terms of documents relating to the design switch, things like that, Tyler. But NHTSA, when you look at this letter, they make it very clear. Some of this is not technical answers. Some of this is you should know what you were doing, when you were doing it, and you should be telling us.
No more stalling from GM on this one. Thanks a lot, Phil. Phil LeBeau reporting from Chicago.